guys, it's Izzy here, and today I'm going to be doing my November book haul, showing you all the books that I've got this month. Roses, their debut album, I think it's one of the best-selling albums of all time. Start with my most recent purchase and go down the line, even though it's not, it may be how those stocks are, I don't know. So the first book is actually like my all-time favorite book, even though it isn't a series. I didn't know they released the illustrated edition of this book because they have been releasing them for the 20th anniversary of the series, and that is A Storm of Swords by George R. Martin. I got this from Amazon today. Now my copy came with some like dust on them, but they are really nice and they're illustrated, as I said, so like it's not on every page. In the first book they would do the illustrated scene when it took place in the book, so now it looks like every 300 pages they just have a set amount of illustrated scenes that would have happened in the last 300 pages. And I think in this one, A Storm of Swords, these scenes look more historical. Of Game of Thrones has like a 1300s setting, so I think these really resonate more with that time period instead of being more fantastical. So at first I wasn't too sure how I felt about these illustrations, but now I do really like them. So I didn't know that this came out, so I'm super happy because, as I said, this is my favorite book, so I'm so excited to have this. So our next book is kind of funny. So these books come out first in Italian and then they come out in the other languages later. I've never seen a copy in the United States. I bought the first book in this series. Oh, and this came from Amazon. But this series, I got the first copy on, or the first book on Book Depository, which is a UK website, and so they always take forever to get here, so I have to wait so long to get my hands on these books. For this one, I pre-ordered it on Book Depository when the English version came out, and they told me my order was canceled, so I was like, okay, I'll go buy a copy on eBay. But the only copy I could find on eBay was paperback, but I was like, I would rather have paperback than not have one at all. So turns out Book Depository actually didn't cancel my order and the hardback came. It's all in English, so I don't know what was up with that, with them telling me it got canceled, bookmarking everything to prove that it came from Book Depository. And my eBay one that shipped from Canada, from Calgary, came as well. So I have two copies, so I'm probably just gonna annotate the paperback ones or send it to a friend. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them yet, but this is a series, I should say, Medici Supremacy by Matteo Struckel. It's so hard to find historical fiction on the Medici. They all do it on Catherine de Medici, who is very fascinating, and this is so strange. It's all about the woman, but there's none of historical fiction on the men. And I'm like, the men, because Catherine wasn't really raised in Florence. She was born there, but she grew up in Rome and then went to France. I want something set in Florence, and this is based on the show on Netflix, which starts out with Medici Masters of Florence. The second season is Il Magnifico, which is Lorenzo the Magnificent in English. So that is what all that is about. So then I had to do my monthly Barnes & Noble trip. So I got Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate. I've been wanting this one because it takes place in my state, or at least part of it, but I'm gonna read y'all the last paragraph because I had no idea this kind of stuff happened. So it said, based on one of America's most notorious real-life scandals, in which Georgia Tan, director of a Memphis-based adoption organization, kidnapped and sold poor children to wealthy families all over the country, Lisa Wingate's riveting, wrenching, ultimately uplifting tale reminds us of how, even though the paths we take can lead to many places, the heart never forgets where we belong. They were kidnapping poor kids and selling them to rich families. Like, what? Never knew about this. This is like in the 1930s, so during like the Great Depression is when that was happening, and I'm just like, whoa, like, I cannot believe that. But I got one of her other books last month that takes place in Louisiana, so I cannot wait to get to that. So then a YA book. I am not really reading a lot of YA anymore. I don't really enjoy it that much. I think a lot of people in BookTube are starting to realize that. So this one is kind of out of left field. So this is DC Icons Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo, very popular author. So with this book, in one of these subscription boxes that I used to have, they sent me the Superman one. So I'm like, this is way far into the series. I have to start with the first one. This is the first one. So it's on Wonder Woman. Who doesn't love Wonder Woman? So the next book was the book that I got on my list of when I go on my list and randomly generate a book. This book they did not have a normal paperback of, or a normal hardback, or a mass market paperback. So, or no, they had mass market paperback, but I don't like mass market paperback, and especially for a book of this size. I learned my lesson reading A Game of Thrones in mass market paperback. So this is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, I think is how you say his name. This is the special edition, red sprayed edges and everything. I hope I like it, because I spent $35 on this, because I do really want to read this book, but I do not want to read it in mass market paperback. So that's why we have this fancy edition that is indeed very beautiful. What does this look like? Just black, and then the end pages. So I hope that I like this. Who knows? I think I will. I think it's adult fantasy. If it's adult fantasy, I usually do like it. So hopefully. Then we have a nonfiction book that is Iron Kingdom, The Rise and Downfall of Prussia, 1600 and 1947 by Christopher Clark. So this is nonfiction, as I said. There's no colored pictures in the middle. There's black and white pictures throughout, and this book smells really nice. So I don't know much about Prussia other than what I learned in school. Like, I know where it was on a map and everything, and how they helped the Americans in some wars, like I think the Revolution. Again, I don't know that much, so that's why I bought a book, so I can learn more about that. I don't know who this is on the cover. I think one of my friends said Willem. I know there's the Willem who starred like World War I, so don't know if that's the same dude or not. Let's look at my book of the month purchases this month. They're both romance. Like, what is happening to me that both of my choices were romance books? I don't know. But this one is The Music Shop by Rachel Joyce. I think this is in the 80s, and that's like why I got it. Yeah, 1988. And music. I love the 80s, especially the late 80s. Music is my #1 love in life, so I picked it up. I wish I worked in a music shop, but I think I would get fired because I'd miss way too many days if I got any job other than a working at home job. So this was originally with them in January 2018, but I didn't get it till now. And then the last book, or my actual choice of the month, is The Starcraft Sisters of Tuscany by Laurie Nelson Spumen. So Tuscany, again, I went to Florence studying in those Medici books. Florence is in Tuscany, which is in Italy. I've spent time in my life in Italy, and I love Italy. I want to live in Italy. So Italian setting, I'll read it. I don't care what it's about. I'll read a book with an Italian setting. Give me books with Italian setting. Tell me down below. I'll pick them up and read them. So then our last two books, random sticky things on them, I don't know. These were my Amazon choices for the month, and the first one is Sleep by C.L. Taylor. This is a 7 Guests, 7 Secrets, 1 Killer, Do You Dare. I think this is very popular. This is a new release. It's a thriller. And again, in my hauls, I don't know what these books, like I know what they're about when I buy them, but I don't remember because I like going into books not knowing anything. So this is a thriller. This is another new release, and all these books feel so short. After you read a really long book, everything seems short. So this is Daughter of Black Lake by Kathy Marie Buchanan. So I think this is it is historical fiction, but I think there's a little thriller-esque thrown in with it. And this is one of those covers that everything sticks to. It's one of those, and this one it was too, like they're kind of sticky feeling, which is kind of annoying, but it's not that big of a deal. You take off the dust jacket when you read. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will see you next week. To let all y'all know, in December I will be doing a Vlogmas, so you will begin a video every single day from December 1st to December 25th. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm going to be doing a lot of bookish videos, like the majority of them will be bookish, rather they be reading vlog or a video like this, who knows. But I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, comment, rate, and subscribe, and remember to ring that notification bell if you want to be one of the first to know when I upload a video. And I hope for all my American friends that you have a very happy Thanksgiving, and stay safe to everybody in the world.